Hey, Roger Martin here from Billings, Montana. Good day. This is another pretty good source for news, pretty consistent. 22,000 views. It's important to understand the battle that's going between the House Democrats and the Republican senators. Mitch McConnell just pretty much told Nancy that it's over, and until they get the muster the courage to get the articles of impeachment legally over to the Senate and let the Senate do their trial. She has no authority to do anything else, and it's pretty much over.
Democrats muster the courage to send the articles of impeachment to the Senate, ending speculation that he might hold a trial even without the articles. Pelosi wanted McConnell to agree to her terms about how a Senate trial should be run, and he made it clear she's not calling the shots. He criticized.
This is important because she's overreaching her bound of authority. She has no authority in the Senate. She's not a senator. She has no authority in the Senate. She's just throwing her political power around, and it's failing. It's flopping. And so is the Democrats' handling of this. Polls show that people are fed up with it. They don't like it. And so she's literally shooting herself in the foot and being kicked in the butt at the same time. The elections will show this as things go on.
House Democrats for their slapdash investigation and Trump derangement syndrome that involved
Trump derangement system, slapdash, haphazard, sloppy, and illegal in some aspects. The work of impeachment. The Constitution clearly has boundaries on it, and Pelosi definitely wants to go beyond those boundaries, legally and morally.
Of ignoring due process and standard legal procedures in their hate.
Now, there's no due process in this. There was none in the House when these things were held in the basement of the Capitol building. Trump didn't have due process. We've said that again and again. And their legal procedures weren't kept with not due process and representation there, but it was all one-sided. So their legal standards were really in haste and one-sided, politically motivated, and illegal as far as due process is concerned.
To impeach President Trump. And then, just before the holidays, this sad spectacle took another unusual turn. As soon as the partisan impeachment votes had finished,
Now again, this is partisan impeachment votes. That's all. They got cold feet because the figures in their investigation showed that polls were not in their favor of doing this, and so they stopped it. They themselves stopped it because they did not hand over the articles of impeachment to the Senate. They got cold feet and they stopped it themselves. So Mitch McConnell is just reconfirming that they've got cold feet and it's not going to go any further until they muster the courage to finish this process according to the Constitution in the Senate. This process really didn't get fully started, is not continuing, and is literally dead.
Prosecutors began to develop cold feet. Instead of sending the articles to the Senate, they flinched, McConnell said. That's right. The same people who just spent weeks screaming that impeachment was so serious and so urgent that it couldn't even wait for due process now decided it could wait indefinitely while they checked the political winds and look for new talking points.
The thing is, they're losing politically. They thought they could gain politically, but just the opposite is happening. They're getting cold feet. They know they're in trouble, and they're not going anywhere with this.
At the conclusion of his speech, McConnell said, their turn is over. They've done enough damage. It's the Senate's turn now to render sober judgment as the framers envisioned. But we can't hold a trial without the articles.
And this is the constitutional law. This is the law land. This is the Constitution. This is the way it is. And Mitch McConnell is exactly right. Pelosi is mistaken in her judgment and her abuse of power. And frankly, it's not going to go anywhere. It's dead. Unless they get the full articles there and let it finish in the Senate and let it go to the Supreme Court, it's not going to finish. So it actually has to finish in the Senate, and there if I'm not mistaken, uh, it can be finalized. The only way that it can be overturned is if the Supreme Court gets into it. All right, Roger Martin from Billings, Montana. I think it's pretty much over with, unless they get some courage, and I don't think they are. The political polls show that they're losing out in many ways, funding-wise, politically, vote-wise, and election-wise.
The Senate's own rules don't provide for that. So for now, we're content to continue the ordinary business of the Senate while House Democrats continue to flounder for now. But if they ever muster the courage to stand behind their slapdash work product and transmit their articles to the Senate, it'll be time for the United States Senate to fulfill our founding purpose.
Okay, we're going to end it there. McConnell has stated exactly what they can do and what they can do, what they are going to do, what they're legally bound to do. Pelosi is mistaken, and she will rule the day she started all this. You'll see this all unfold this spring, summer, and fall as the elections come, and she has definitely shot herself in the foot, and the whole Democratic Party is floundering. This may be an end to the Democratic Party as we know it, and they may be losing their powerhouse hold that they thought they had.
Democrats are complaining about McConnell possibly holding an unfair investigation, but that's literally what Democrats just did for 3 months. When Democrats hold Soviet-style trials and limit the other side from having any say at all, there's no problem at all. But before the impeachment trial likely moves into the Senate, Democrats are whining, issuing ridiculous demands, and already claiming the process is rigged.
Of course it isn't, and they are messed up constitutionally, morally, and politically. And you're going to find out that they've really screwed up. The polls already show that. The elections will further show that, and there'll be evidence of that after the elections are held in November. So we could regain the House, and they're going to be out. And a new leader, if we do, will be appointed. That's already been talked about in previous videos. And so Kevin McCarthy will probably be that leader if that happens. We'll wait and see if that does happen. Here's Roger Martin from Billings, Montana. Good day. Due process and constitutional law are a requirement of this nation and country, and that's all there is to it. Regardless of what political might or power Pelosi thinks she has, she is mistaken. Good day.